This is Pedro Lara, comic book artist. Today I am inking a more golden action. This is the inking for my entry to the Webtoon Canvas contest call to action. The comic is going to be named Six Units Realms Reject, and it's a fantasy, like an epic fantasy or dark fantasy action comic. And what I'm doing here is inking on Clip Studio Paint, and I'm going to show you everything, all the process uh, that that I'm using to have a final look webtoon comic or web comic. This is a sample of the color direction that I want to have. So this is probably going to be the final look of the comics. This random panel from the comic, which I think has more or less all the different items or assets or objects, may I say, that are going to happen on the webtoon. Is there is the blue sky, the clouds, the city, uh, a little bit of the destruction that is happening in the city, and soldiers that are defending the city, their uniforms, and a couple of our heroes. Six units is six different characters, so a couple of those, a pair of those, and their respective colors, and how they are more cell shaded, more like an anime. Uh, the secondary characters is just flat colors, and the background with a nice watercolor. Uh, it is digital. This is not actual watercolors. This is just digital simulation of watercolors, but that looks more or less like an anime, like a cell shade of an actual anime. That's the look I'm going for. And these are just more of the sequences of panels that I have. These are not colored, just this is just the inking. I am in the middle of the inking process, so that is what is happening in here. And after the inking process, after the inking ends, I'm going to color everything. And the idea is to have everything documented in these streams, so everybody can see it, everybody can uh, learn a little bit, if you will, of the process. And I'm going to try to teach you something while I am doing this art, while I am doing these inks or the colors. I'm going to be talking about, I don't know, the technical stuff, like how to do things on Clip Studio Paint, or how Clip Studio Paint works. But also I am going to be talking probably more or less about theory, uh, color theory, or inking theory, or composition, or art theory, um, anatomy, etc. So stay tuned, and may be talking about something that may be of your interest if you are a comic artist, or an aspiring comic artist. And you can tap in the chat if you want questions. I will just ask you to be a little bit patient with me, because most probably I'm going to have my face stick into the tablet where I am drawing, The camera is the tablet view, and on the side monitor I have all the controls of the live stream. In those controls is where I see your chat. So I'm going to raise my head and check the chat um, as often as I can. But yeah, if you are drawing most of the time, you are very concerned on this view. Okay, so let's start. Also, I think this is the first video that I am doing both the Twitch stream and a YouTube stream at the same time. So you can watch me on both, any of those if you want. My YouTube channels is Pedro Lara Artist, and my Twitch channel is Pedro Lara Draws. So you can look for any of those. I'm going to be uh, from this stream forward. I'm going to stream in both channels at the same time. Um, before before this string, if you're looking after the fact, uh, you can see previous streams where I'm inking previous scenes like this one on Twitch. I think the Twitch is going to be safe for a couple of weeks and then it got erased. So if you're seeing this probably by the end of May, uh, those videos may be gone forever. Today is May the 15th, 2022. Okay, I'm going to start a lot of introduction. To make the ink, I go and set the pencils into a color layer. I usually use some kind of dark blue, uh, so I can set the pencils as a reference and then have a new layer, vector layer for inking, which is going to be 100% black, default G-Pen, default settings uh, for inking. Nothing special, it's just good, has a good line and a good quality. The default G-Pen on Clips to the Paint. Nothing, nothing fancy else is needed. Mm, I use dark blue because, as you can see, this is colored. This is the the background. The background is colored a little bit dark. This is not 100% white. Uh, this is good. This will be 100% white. But if I use 100% white, my eyes are going to burn. Is just too much brightness, too harsh for your eyes. And I like to work when I work real pencils, and I like to work on tone paper too. I think it's easy for your eyes, but I don't set it at a 50% gray. That would be around the mid here. I set it a little bit on top, and I give it a little bit of color yellow. So it's not just gray. Um, it has a little bit tone quality. This doesn't matter because uh, once all is finished, I will set the background of the layer to white, to 100% white, and apply the colors. And that gray is going to be long gone by the end of the process. But while I am inking, I think it's better for your eyes to not have 100% white. It's just too harsh. And if you're doing like I am doing, probably thousands of hours. Uh, that harshness of the brightness in your eyes are going to um, you're going to pay a price with that. And you may need glasses after many hours of doing pencils and drawings. What I am doing here of this scene is basically a stack scene. That is a slang in comics for just using the same drawing uh, several times, copy paste the same drawing several times, and change small things between the the drawings. You use this technique when a character barely moves, or a couple of characters barely moves, or the camera is just zooming in on over the same characters, uh, on the same character over several panels. So the character may not move; it's just the camera that is moving. So you have the same panel 2 and 3 times, but every time zoomer, you just have the same drawing, and you zoom in the drawing. I use this technique, that technique over here, where we have a golem and a building, then zoom to the building, and you can see a sniper, and then bam, the sniper blows the golem head off. This drawing is actually this drawing, just copy pasted and zoom it in and added a little bit more detail, because when you zoom in you need more detail, but it's basically the same drawing. That's going to make uh, the drawing and the paneling creation process faster. I try not to overuse it, because over time it gets tiresome. Like, people start to notice you're just using the same panels. But as a storytelling technique, it's a good technique and a fair use technique. Fair to use technique. This is not a contest drawing. It's not a contest of who's making the best drawings, or who is the best artist at drawing. It may feel like, but it is not actually. Uh, if you think comics is just all about who's drawing the best, then why should an artist bother on making sequential art? That means that one panel and the next panel have some kind of meaningful relation to the story, right? And you read the panel in sequences, and after reading the sequence, you get the whole idea. The idea, and reading the text that is on it, you get the idea of the storytelling sequence. If it's just drawing, then you will watch just like a pin-up art or posters or anything like that. It's something more than that. It's something more than just the static images isolated. Uh, all the images in the comic have a relationship between them. This image is related to the image that is happening before, and is related also to the image that is going to happen later. So you need to get that uh, mentality in mind, and include the storytelling into your art repertoire. So since it's not just that contest of who is drawing better, is more a contest of who is telling the best story. So you will need your storytelling elements in place. That will be a little bit of storytelling theory then adding into the mix. Okay, so since it's not about, or since we have established that it's not about just art skills or drawing skills, it's an art form, a very complex art form that includes storytelling and sequential art. Okay, then these techniques that helps you tell a better story, helps you uh, make the art sequential, are fair to use. Okay, and there are many other techniques, many other techniques. Like for a lot of these graphics, I use it 3D art. It's not that everything here is 3D, but probably the main figure, I use a 3D posable figure model that I pose it and helped me to pose the character and draw it real quick, because uh, this comic in particular has 90 frames. So this can be considered 3 frames, right? 1, 2, 3, and there are 90 of those. This is one, and this is one. Okay, so we have here compress 4 frames only here, right? This is 90 frames, so it's a lot. It's a lot of drawings, a lot of time allocated into drawing, while the deadline approaches. The deadline to submit the art is, I think, July 1st or June, the last day of June. Uh, but the submission uh, time window starts in June and ends on July. I think I have to double check on that. Last time I checked was that way. Uh, so yeah, it's a lot of drawings to be done in such a small time window. You need to have all the shortcuts that you can at your disposal. It's not a who's drawing best contest. The contest is called Call to Action, and it's about having action comic with action scenes. And with those scenes, one of the requirements is to have a fight between at least 2 characters. Okay, so if you have that, uh, your comic can participate. In none of this of the page for the comic where they made the announcement, I think uh, it was mentioned that it was going to be who's the better at drawing contest. It's who's the better at making action scenes. Oh, of course, the uh, your proficiency doing drawing, making appealing art, appealing drawings, obviously is going to be of importance when you make the comic, when you make your submission. And I'm pretty sure that there are judges, and the judges are going to judge, among many other things, your abilities as a drawer, as an artist, right? That, that's of course, for sure. But it's not the main thing, it's not the main idea, it's not the main focus. And I'm pretty sure it's not the main focus. You can say the same for almost any comic that you make. The main focus focus is not the art. And it sounds confusing for me. It's not the art. You are not doing just art. You're telling a story, and the story comes first. Always, always, the story comes first. If you're telling a story and nobody understands your story, your drawings or your storytelling techniques are too complicated, too advanced, uh, too experimental, and people don't understand what the hell you're trying to say. Your message is lost. And and that I think is maybe one of the worst thing you can imagine that may happen to you if you want to tell a story is that nobody understands your story. That could be the worst scenario. So yeah, what is happening here? The guy shoots, clack clack, and shoot again. I hope that's clear. It's clear what is happening. So since the guy just shoot and he's shooting these two zombies, right? They are just one right to the next to the other. So he's like clack, shoot, clack clack, shoot the second one, and the movement is very subtle because since they are right next to each other, but I think the gun moves a little bit and the head also moves a little bit, like he's watching at the first one, shoot, reload, watch at the second one, and shoot. Very subtle movement. I don't know if I'm going to draw all over again or if I'm going just to copy paste this guy and then make small modifications. Probably that's going to be the path that I'm going to take because yet again, it's not about who's the better at drawing, it's about who's the better at telling a story. Always take that into consideration when you're doing your story for your comic. You may say, but Pedro, your art is very detailed. You are wasting a lot of time, and you can just say you can just make like this, and I understand that's a dagger. Why why are you taking so much time, and why are you making so much effort to sell me that that dagger is super well drawn when you're contradicting yourself? Well, if you say that to me, I may say you're right. You're completely right. I need to find a way to adapt my style, which is very detailed, very thoughtful. Uh, I think a lot about many details, anatomy details, uh, mm, composition details, uh, light and shadow details, perspective details. I make a lot of that. I know, I'm aware, and I'm aware I may need a little bit of improvement in those areas to make my art faster. I am learning. I am not saying I am an expert here at all. Please don't take any of my advice as if you are talking to an expert. I am not, and I am not pretending to be. Lot of improvement all the time. Yes, of course, that is needed. Yes, you will be right if you tell me that. But At least I'm trying to follow my own advice in some regards. The the more I can. I make faster lines. See, this is the beauty of Clip Studio Paint. You can have a eraser that is a vector eraser, and only erase vector until it reach the point where it crosses against another vector. It's amazing, amazing, amazing. So you can have something like this, and then use the eraser. Super fast, super simple. If you ask me, I think Clip Studio Paint is the best tool for comic book artists. It's the best. Probably Adobe Photoshop is going to be right there on his coloring capabilities. Uh, and I think especially if you are doing like a traditional comic uh, painting style or coloring style, most probably Adobe Photoshop is going to be your best option. No questions about it. Probably. But if you're doing something a little bit different, or you don't need all the uh, special tools that Adobe Photoshop can provide you, or if it's not printed, because printing has some intricacies that may require more horsepower, uh, like this, a web comic. If you're having a web comic, oh my god, Clip Studio Paint is all you need. All you need, definitely. You won't be needing anything else. It's amazing. It's an amazing tool. Perfectly designed for comic book artists in mind. This is going to be black. Let's make the black layer. The black fill layer. I am using vectors for the line. To fill up the blacks, I need a raster layer, not a vector layer. If you can see my previous Twitch video, I explain in that stream all the differences between vector and raster layer. And I need to run, so I'm not going to explain it here. But basically, that's one of the limitations of Clip Studio Paint. Clip Studio Paint doesn't or cannot use a fill bucket tool, which is this one, and it's an amazing tool. Cannot use fill bucket tool with, I blew it there. What's happening? Refer to other layers. Okay, I don't know. Okay, cannot use fill bucket tool with vectors. It can only use fill bucket tool with raster layers. But okay, see something is wrong there. Okay. Ah, now I know. But you can, and that this was my mistake. You can set the layer as a reference layer, the line layers, the vector layer. This is the icon for vector. I hope you can see it. It's very small, very small. And you can set it as a reference layer, And once you set as reference layer, you use the refer to other layers on the fill and check out the reference layer. Okay, be mindful of that. If you do that, it's going to fill the bucket until uh, it finds a limit, and you can if the gap is not completely closed, you can set up a sensibility for it to auto close the gaps. It's super cool. See, he didn't close it. Why? Because the gap, I think, was open here. I think that's what is happening. So where else? Okay, of course. Here we have, boom, and all these small details that it didn't include, I can just fine tweak it a little bit, and that will be it. I feel it, the blacks. Okay, and to not mess it up, because I do that a lot, I will make I will tint the color dark red. That's why I know this is the fill the black. So if I start doing my line job and I see red, I know, okay, I'm messing up because I have to do my line vector layer to take advantage of all the special tools dedicated to vectors. I'm pretty sure that for the way the vectors work and the line tool works, and how you can use them in Clip Studio Paint uh, for line work. I'm pretty sure the idea of the developers of this software is for you to make your line work in vector layers. Pretty sure that is what they are telling me. Hey, we have all these tools they are so badass, Pedro. Why don't you use vectors? Take advantage, guy. And if you use Clip Studio Paint, I will suggest you to make your line work on a vector layer. It will be my suggestion. But the software is really cool because you can just make your line work on a raster layer. It wouldn't matter. You are just going to miss out on a lot of features, right? Oh my, running out of water. You may be wondering where is my accent, where I'm from. I am an artist from Costa Rica. So I am a Latino. I speak Spanish. That's my mother language, is the way of saying it. Yo hablo español. Costa Rica, for my listeners that don't know where the hell is Costa Rica, because I don't blame you. It's a very small country and not so famous, not like Italy or I don't know, Japan. So if you don't know where Costa Rica is, I don't blame you. Costa Rica is a little country in Central America. Yeah, there are many Americas. You got your North America, your Central America, and your South America. The North America is Canada, Mexico, United States, Puerto Rico. Then it's the Central America, and also you can say this Insular America, which are all the islands that are in the Atlantic Ocean. You can find Cuba there, and Dominican Republic, Haiti. So Insular America. Central America is the middle, is what connects North America with South America. And South America is where you have your Argentina, Colombia, Brazil, well, many countries there, Ecuador. Uh, so yeah, Costa Rica is here in the middle, very small country in Central America, tropical forest, very tropical. Every day is hot here. Every day is summer. I tell people we don't have seasons here. We just have summer. It's just summer all the time. We have two summers. Summer when it's raining and summer when it's not raining. That's just the difference. But it's not cold. Not at all. It's really hot. I think this one is ready. So he goes, bam. Okay, so now you know a little bit more about myself. Costa Rica, nice country, nice weather, always summer, all summer boys, summer childs. And I am not a young person either. You might have noticed because of my voice and the way I talk, I am an old guy. An experienced guy, experienced artist. I am 44 years old. Year, year old? Years old. 44. That's my age. So, you know what? I have been making like a lot of sound effects as of lately, and I don't have letters for that. I don't have letters for sound effects. Should I need to download one? Like Blambut. Use this page. Blambut. Are you seeing my page? No, you're seeing just my camera. Okay, that's good. But use Blambut. Its name is Blambut. Blambut.com for lettering. For lettering, this one is free. It's free, and it's totally downloading this font for your fonts. Your font needs in what is going on? Font needs in comics. What is my password here? What is going on? Incorrect password. What is? OMG. Forgot my password. So Well, I will maybe buying this later. It's because I don't have an account. Okay. Probably I just purchased things before without the need to make an account. So I'm going to I'm going to buy with Google Play. I think that's what happened. Yeah, it requires you. Blambot requires you to buy with Google Pay, even though their funds are $0. Probably, I think it's because they want to have your profile or something like that, to send you emails and the things, promotions. But it's worth very good letterings, like all the lettering that you see here. I downloaded it from Blambot. Most of them is um, free, completely free. See this background, like sound effects that I'm making, like the guys making grrr or roar. Uh, it's just this regular font, but I alter it. But I think for this bam bam, and I think I make one here, bam, that I make it by hand. But I'm not really happy with this one. It doesn't look like very well done. It can be better. Definitely can be better. I'm going to download on my webcomic this font. Please download it. Let me just check real quick if somebody has made any questions. Nothing. Okay, that's fine. Totally fine. You can make your questions, or you cannot. You can just listen to me rambling while I'm trying to install a new comic book. A new font. Let's track the files here. Okay, raw bones, install fonts. Very quick, very easy. I don't know. Does that happen now? I am an old guy. I already told you. I remember that in the past, if you install a font, the software that you were using, you need to restart the software to be able to use the font. Is that the case now? Haven't that solved this? Oh, my camera is in. My camera is mirror. What the hell? How do I fix this? This doesn't make any sense. How did I fix this? Camera? I need to know. Edit. Customization. Light chat. Message delay. What the hell? Okay. This may be just mirror for you guys. Sorry. I didn't know. But this is YouTube. YouTube is the one that is have mirror. The Twitch stream, I'm pretty sure is looking straight. So what is going on? You know what? I'm going to try to fix this, and I'm going to be back. Thank you for watching this stream. Bye.